Now, British governments of whichever political persuasion have long maintained the tradition and commitment of being a country which prides itself on spending millions on overseas aid. The government used to spend 0.7% of its budget, about £14 billion allocated to overseas aid. But today the Chancellor changed all that, slashing the commitment to 0.5% of GDP, a cut of £4 billion. Mr Sunak justified the move, saying that in the present circumstances it would be difficult to get it past the public, which is suffering itself. Well, Claire O'Shea is co-chair of the Wales Overseas Agency Group and head of Hub Cymru Africa, which is an international development charity. Claire, are you worried by this very large cut in the government's overseas aid budget?
Yeah, we are really worried about it. As we all know, and we're all kind of suffering through the pandemic at the moment, but the world's poorest are suffering more than most. There's predicted to be 100,000 preventable deaths because of the cut to the 0.7. We're worried that millions of people will be pushed into much deeper poverty. So there's real impact of this cut. So, yeah, we are concerned about it. Now,
of course, there are many Conservative supporters. Andrew Mitchell, I think, also David Cameron have both spoken out against this today, saying it is a British tradition to have this commitment, this fixed commitment to overseas aid, and that even in the words of Andrew Mitchell, it could lead to tens of thousands of preventable deaths. Are you worried that in some parts of the world it will lead to many, many deaths?
Yeah, absolutely. The aid budget currently gets spent on things like delivering clean water. It's for girls' education, to make sure that, you know, they're able to leave relationships which may have domestic violence as a part of them. It pays for medicine. It helps prevent climate change. In a pandemic, for example, lots of money would be spent on vaccines. So there's lots of kind of real significant things that aid pays for that we really think there should be a commitment to, particularly when the world's poorest are suffering even more than we are.
Are you concerned that it might lead to have a direct impact on the work that you do at Hub Cymru Africa?
We're not too concerned about our work ourselves. We're quite a low-cost, agile, small charity, which is a real benefit, and we tend to support organisations in Wales to work effectively overseas. But, you know, there are many, many charities in Wales who do receive funding from DFID to do some really great work, like helping burns victims, supporting girls' education, helping girls with kind of menstrual hygiene in Uganda, for example. So there's lots of great organisations doing really important things, and those charities do have a benefit to Wales as well. Volunteering opportunities, employment opportunities, opportunities for learning, schools links. It's a really enriching thing for Wales and globally.
Briefly, what do you think the public reaction will be to this? Are you worried that the public might think, well, it's money that would have been spent overseas, we've got many more concerns at home now?
Yeah, we can all understand that it's a shrinking budget, and we want to see it spent on really important things. And, you know, the domestic pressures can sometimes feel insurmountable, but we also have a global role to play. We live in a world where climate change is a problem, where, you know, global shortages of things can cause real problems for us as well. And we need to kind of support other countries. We benefit when other countries are buoyant. Indeed. It's really important to kind of observe that.
Claire, we'll have to leave it there. That's Claire O'Shea from Hub Cymru Africa.